I always used to like them. I don't know. Okay, no, but we'll just start with that anyways. Okay, no, just
we'll
start.
find the clip later.
Fine, do it.
We'll probably
Okay,
already got
fine.
the clip.
Yeah, come on.
Hi, I'm Lawrence.
I'm Uzair.
We're two university students trying to plan our future and create success.
Today we are going to be having a discussion on being a helpful person.
Welcome, everyone.
This is thinking ahead.
Okay, so
It's your birthday. I'm not going to let that slide. I think everyone needs to know.
this is.
It's Lawrence's birthday. He's 21 now.
I am. I know. I mean, the time we actually post this is not going to be my birthday, but currently it is my birthday.
Yeah. The work ethic. If it was my birthday, I wouldn't be working.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it though. I feel productive. I feel that extra boost of energy, I think, on my birthday. So
That's fair.
I'm liking how it's going so far.
That's fair. I get that.
But I really like how everyone surprised me. So they came into my room at midnight last night, and like I wasn't expecting anywhere near that amount of people. There's like everyone just barged in. I was like, whoa, okay, I get it. But it was nice, and it was just nice that people do them little things for you, right?
Yeah, it is quite nice.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what we're supposed to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Like doing just little things for others that make it nice.
I think the whole idea behind a lot of like productivity and finance people is like they're quite selfish, care only about themselves. But we aren't like that. Like we aren't trying to curate that idea. Like our aim is to be happy and be a good person.
Yeah.
And being productive and, earning your money and those type of things are just means of achieving that. But they're not the only things you should be focused on. Being a helpful person and being a good person is right at the top of that list as well.
Exactly. Being a good person is such a fulfilling act, and I think that at the end of the day, your whole life is just about fulfillment. So, I find it greatly fulfilling when I can help someone out or teach someone something. And the same with you. We're just trying to fulfill ourselves by fulfilling other people.
Exactly. We actually did like an economics paper on this.
Yeah.
So we were talking about like the invisible hand and the theory of moral sentiments, where it talks about humans just want to do what's good for them and benefit themselves, but by doing that they're actually benefiting society, and that's how society progresses. Okay. So like he applies that to economics by saying that people want what's best for them, they'll choose products that are best for them, they'll buy things that are best for them, and in doing that they're creating an economy and a market that's allocating the resources in the right way, that's working best for everyone. The prices are standardized, and in the end it's good for everyone. But you can apply that same principle to like us as humans. We're doing what we want to do to make ourselves happy, to lead a more fulfilling life, and oftentimes that involves being a nice person and being a good person to everyone else, and hence society as a whole progresses.
Definitely. And I think it's a two-way street as well, because you want to receive help from others, and in order to do that you're also helping others in return.
Yeah.
And like there's an example for instance for me, like when I first moved to the dorms and we got here and we had next to no furniture. So one of the things that I thought was really nice was that there was a girl called Fayar, and she was selling her lamp, and I really needed this to put in my room. And then when I went to get it from her, she ended up just letting me have it for free. And I thought that was such a nice thing, and was taken aback by it, and it was just a nice little moment. But then fast forward to now, where I've just changed my bed, and now Fayal has asked if she could have my bed frame and to pay for it. And I was like, well, you don't need to pay for it because you've helped me out. And so it's kind of, I feel like I'm returning the favor. And it's that in itself is just such a nice ecosystem to be in.
Exactly. And I think when you do something like that, do you think people should expect someone to return a favor? I'm sure like when she helped you out, she didn't really expect you to do anything for her, Yeah. And I think that's a good sentiment to have when helping others. You shouldn't be expecting anything back, because then it's not going to be as fulfilling, because you know that when you're doing something, you are expecting something back, and like you're going to be disappointed when they don't do something back, So in the end, it's just not good for anyone. And I think going into it, you should not expect anything. But the nature of humans is such that we end up helping people who help us back. But that
Yeah.
shouldn't be what you should be going into. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's good that you touched on that because, again, you're not. It's just like you said. You rounded up nicely. It's just nice to do things for other people, and in a world where everyone is doing nice things for other people, maybe you're not even receiving nice favors from the people that you have given a favor to. Maybe it's just that random people are giving you favors. You're giving them to random people. That's just it's just a nice place to be.
Yeah.
You don't need anything in return because it is so fulfilling just giving that thing to the other people anyway. And it doesn't have to be a material thing. That could be advice. It could be anything. It could any form of help, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a great thing. I think. How do you think you How do you think you personally apply this principle in your everyday life? Like, how do you help others?
I think it's good not to get caught up in too many things, like in terms of like materialistic possessions. So definitely, an example for me is I like making food for other people, and like in the system where there's several of us, and sometimes we occasionally make food for the rest of the group. And obviously, when you're making a food for 4 or 5 people, that can be quite a lot of money that you have to spend on groceries. But it's fine because then the moment of actually feeding other people, I don't know why, but it just, to me, that's very fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're a family and a cohesive unit, and the food has brought people together. And so I kind of feel honored that I was the one to make that food, and that food has brought people together.
Exactly.
And then you don't worry about the money.
Mm-hmm.
But like also for you, right? There's some examples that you've got.
Yeah, I mean, I also have started like hosting a lot more people at my place. And whenever anyone asks what we should be doing, I always say, hey, come over to mine. I'll host you guys, I'll cook dinner for you. And I don't really expect anything to happen. But what I do know is that the more you do these type of things, right, you're creating like a serendipity vehicle. Where like the more you do it, the more your chances of having serendipitous events happens.
Yeah.
So if you it's a kind of a way of putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
You're putting yourself out there, helping others. And the more you do it, eventually, like, the universe comes back to you in some way. But that's like the end, that it can happen, but I don't expect it to happen, In the moment, it's always nice to like have people enjoy your food, and it's a good feeling when they have fun and they like appreciate what you're doing when you're cooking and they're talking there, having a good time. It always makes you feel like, like you've made something, you made them happy even for a little bit,
Yeah, I think that is a good question to ask yourself is, how do I want people to remember me by? And when you're doing all these good things, and you can know and you can be at peace with the fact that people will remember you as a good person, and they remember the kind of friendship that you've given them and the kind of help that you've given them.
Yeah.
I think it's only when you're very centered around yourself, and if you ask yourself, what do people think of me? If you don't know that the things you're doing are good or bad, then perhaps you do need to change and add some of that positive stuff and give back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it is very easy to just take, and you take the help and you don't think anything of it because it's just a small little thing.
Yeah.
But then it comes a time when then people are starting to think, well, look at all this stuff that we've done for this person. And maybe they're not expecting anything in return. But then if you are then self-centered, that can throw off the balance a little bit.
Exactly. And the way I think about helping others is if it's not a lot of inconvenience to me, if it's not like anything big that's going to affect my day or like hurt me in a significant way, but if it brings me a small inconvenience, but it makes someone else really happy, then I'll take that small inconvenience. Because, like if that small inconvenience means making someone's day or making someone's day just a little better, it's worth it to me, And I feel like the more people think of it that way, it's always nice, just create a more happy environment, a happy community.
Yeah.
But if you're not willing to compromise and stuff, you are like, and if you're like, oh, I'm not going to do anything that like is the slightest of inconvenience to me, and then that way just like no one is going to be helpful.
Yeah. You have to go out of your way to help other people, and other people will go out of their way to help you.
Yeah. When you make those TikToks about, you don't expect anything in return, do you? Like, do
Yeah.
you just? I think you put like a lot of advice and things out there, and you've talked many times about how your goals and ambitions are about in the end helping others. Maybe talk about that.
Yeah. So recently I've started a TikTok account where I'm basically trying to give people advice on general productivity, lifestyle, and just personal success. And honestly, the reason I started doing it was not because I wanted to get famous. I just like helping, like teaching people new things. I find it really interesting and really fulfilling. And so just having the opportunity for someone to listen to what I was saying is, for me, that's fulfilling enough.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, they learn something. For me, they're listening, and then that interaction in itself, like I find it's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so helping other people on the internet, as weird as that seems, it's just quite a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think?
Even in like real life, when our friends ask us to help them with investing or help them improve their schedule, we always feel so happy when we do that. And we were talking about it the other day, how we can maybe scale that up. And I know your aim one day is to maybe become sort of like a Tim Robbins figure in terms of you helping others and providing value to millions of people. Can you imagine how fulfilling that would be? Maybe talk about like how you're going to achieve that.
Yeah, so I had an idea that, because I realized it is something that's very important to me, that maybe we were trying to come around the problem of how to scale up. Like, obviously one-to-one, it's very easy to help people and teach them something, but then when you want to go to the next level and a bigger scale, it becomes harder, because then it's how do you help and impact so many people, but also keep that personal connection with each of them, because you can like do talking in a crowd and stuff like that, but then the people who are listening to you are already people who are ready to engage and are, you know, ready to receive that help. But sometimes for most people, they're not going to ask for help. You know, you have to see or have to know that they're in need of your help, or in need of a certain lesson or teaching that's going to bring them up.
Mm-hmm.
Struggling for that for a while, but I mean, if you have any suggestions, I mean, Uzair, do you have a suggestion for that as well?
Yeah, so I think ideally what you want to be doing is helping people on a one-by-one basis, right? And helping people who kind of don't know that they need to be helped in some way.
Yeah.
What I was thinking was, so obviously you write books and you become a consultant for people who actually need it, people who have the money, for businesses, and etc. But on the side, you end up going to juvenile centers and homeless centers and provide value to them and give talks for them and give them free books, you know?
Yeah.
And that way you are helping those people who don't know they need to be helped, but using the money from the people who do know they need help.
Right.
So you're transferring that. So it's kind of, you're getting fulfillment from one way and you're also getting money. And that way you create this huge ecosystem. And obviously you said you do like helping people out on a one-by-one basis. But if you give talks and if you write books, if you make YouTube videos, make TikToks, you're reaching out to millions of people. It's about marketing to the right people though. So obviously the people who can watch these videos actively are people who are well off, people who have, like you, in some way, productive mindsets.
Yeah.
But if you market that video and the same information for free and actively try to give it to people who need the help, then you'll be achieving what you want to be achieving.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's like using the profit from helping the people who are more well off to fund the philanthropy to help the people who aren't well off.
Yeah.
That's an interesting model, actually.
Yeah.
No, I do like that, definitely.
Yeah. Do you think our YouTube channel, because we've talked about this a few times, and we said that we both find fulfillment in helping others. Do you think we can do something about our YouTube channel to maybe go in that direction later on? Maybe like a makeover series we were talking about?
Yeah, we had an idea that maybe we, with like students at the university, we can like maybe sit them down and then do a session, almost like Queer Eye or something like that, where we will like help with certain aspects of their life, and then hopefully we can see a transformation in that person, become a better person, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, we don't end up like ruining their lives or something. But yeah, I mean, let us know what you think, and we'll see if we can get that to work. But we're trying to do it in a way that's not invasive, because obviously we want to help people, but then we don't want to just be in their face with a camera and this is your whole life.
For sure. And maybe like once we scale that model, so we help the people out in our college who want to be helped.
Yeah.
Then we move on to helping people who really need the help, who don't have the money, etc.
Yeah.
Because the good thing about a YouTube channel is the money is from the monetization and the ads. We don't need the money from the customer. So we don't need the money from the people who actually need the help. And that's a good thing, because we are doing that same model of profits from one place to fund the philanthropy, but at a smaller scale. Yeah. And then eventually we'll grow this to a larger scale, right?
No, I think so. And I think maybe as well, in a non-crude way, because the people at our college, it's not that they're not well off, but they're more comfortable with their money. It's a good place to start as well, because they're also young like us, and so we're not giving professional advice. We're just giving helpful tips to help them, and then we can use that feedback from that to refine the tips and the help that we're giving, because maybe there'll be some mistakes across the way, and maybe some of the tips we give are not transferable for everyone, but then we can learn about that and learn what we need to refine our skills, so that if we do then help people who really need the help, we can be more confident in that what we're saying is true and it works. Yeah,
for sure. And like we said, we don't expect anything to happen when we provide value to these people. But you did talk about how even though, like, obviously we don't expect anything to happen, and if we could, we would provide value, because that's what even I want to do. I want to end up working for an NGO because there's a cause that I support. But obviously, we need the money to support those endeavors. We need the money to support our families because we owe it to them, you know?
Yeah.
And it would be amazing if we could do both, right? And we could have the big model where like we earn money from some people and then we funnel it into a philanthropic endeavors. For example, I could have a side hustle, earn money from a business, and then end up spending my time working as a lawyer at an NGO as a human rights lawyer, you know? And that's a good model. But on the other hand, you could also have a model where you help the people, and once they do figure things out and you feel like they have everything done, they could donate back to you. And I'm sure they wouldn't mind, because you impacted their lives in such a great way that they wouldn't mind giving you the money, but maybe not expecting it from the start, you know?
Yeah, that would be interesting further down the line, I think, definitely, to see if it did mean that much to them, maybe a small donation. And then hopefully, because you can help so many people, you don't have to have big donations. Just if everyone chips in a small amount, then that would help funnel the process. But then I guess if you're talking about that model as well, it's also something that you still have to, for instance, like pay for our university fees or for your rent and stuff for the couple of years before. Like there's a few years of lag, right? Between when it starts and when it finishes.
Oh yes, for sure. So it's like a mixed bag. I think it's a business model that you need to like think into carefully. But the point is that we're both not interested in just the money. We find a lot of fulfillment in helping others. And that's what our main goal is, to lead a fulfilling and happy life. And money is a means to achieving that. But it isn't the only thing that we are running behind. The same goes with like my tutoring. So I tutor for logic, information, and argumentation at AUC, and I made an online course that I was going to plan on selling to my students, and they'd buy it and they'd study for the tests and hopefully get good grades. But I made a course for the first module, so it was 3 videos, but I soon realized that at this point, like, there's so many people struggling, and I wasn't really getting that many customers. And there were people who were asking me, hey, can I buy this video from you? But there were like 2 or 3 students, and I was going to earn 30 or 40 euros. But I realized that rather than getting that 30 and 40 euros, why not just give like it to everyone? Because that 30 and 40 euros is like can't compare to the amount of fulfillment and happiness you get when you're helping the whole year and
Yeah.
everyone like gets a good grade because of you.
Yeah.
I think that small sacrifice is just worth it. So I decided to put the course out for free completely, and it was like a big success, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people
definitely,
used it
yeah.
for studying.
I think so. It's like what you were saying before, how it's a small inconvenience for you, but then it
Mhm.
helps a lot of people or it impacts them a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, I used his course as well because I was falling behind in my class.
Yeah,
So it definitely worked, and people definitely appreciated it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like it was not monetary fulfillment, but it was like a more intrinsic and happy
Mm.
feeling that you can't explain in words in some ways.
Yeah.
When we do help others,
Mm.
there is obviously a psychological reason behind why it brings us so much happiness.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been struggling with my mental health, and a lot of people are at AUC and just college students in general. And what I read from a lot of people and what my therapist told me was what we often feel lonely and sad when we lack connection, but when we provide value to others, we fill that void in our heart, and
Yeah.
it brings connection to us and makes us happy. So giving back to others and making them feel happy is in some ways making you happy.
It's healing yourself as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
I think so. I think especially from a lot of the books that I've read, like humanity is a very social animal, and that's why one of the reasons why we've developed so much quickly and more aggressively than other animals is that the example, for instance, is that you could see a pack of lions work together, and there's like 12 of them maybe who are like hunting together, but then with humans you could have 1,000 humans organizing an event or some kind of thing together as a cohesive unit, and that's something that you very rarely see in other
Mhm.
mammals to such a degree. And I think that still lives with us today, that we socially you have to have some kind of interaction because you're almost aligned with it as a survival instinct to be
Mhm.
social, to help other people, and for all of you to work together on something.
Yeah, that completely, like we are all made as a social unit. We are a community, and we are aligned to help each others, not just because it makes us happy, but that's how we're evolutionary designed in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like a thought we want to leave you guys
Yeah.
with. What is it like in your daily life that you can do to help the people you care about and not expect anything back? And I'm sure if you do this more often, you'll find that you will find fulfillment and you will find happiness that can't be expressed in words often.
Exactly, well put. Okay, guys, I think we'll leave you there. We'll see you later.
Bye.